All right, many of you probably know Assemblymember Rob Bonta. He's out of Alameda. He's the first Filipino, and is he the only Filipino up there?
No.
Really? Is he the only Filipino?
No. Todd Gloria, San Diego.
Okay, all right. All right. Well, you learn something new every day. And so Rob Bonta was we were introduced to him in 2015 prior to the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the grape strike. And you know what? I read so much about him. He not only introduced AB 123, he also introduced legislation to include the role of the Filipino Americans in World War II, make sure that that is acknowledged and recognized in curriculum. The Larry Itliong Day, it was celebrated as a state holiday. So he's a big friend of ours, unable to make it, however, but we do have a video that he wanted to show to this audience, particular audience, on this particular occasion, in this particular building.
Assembly, I'm here in my office in the Capitol in Sacramento, and I'm disappointed that I can't be with you in the Delano Hall, but I'm with you in spirit. And you're in a very special place right now, a magical place, an iconic place, a place where people stood up for justice and took a stand to fight for more opportunity and more equity and more justice and more inclusion, and showed amazing courage. And I think it's one of the special iconic places in our Filipino American community. And there are others that we've heard about and talked about in the civil rights movement, in other movements like the gay rights movement, like the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, or Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, or the Stonewall Inn in New York. But the Delano Hall is our place. It's the place where we made change, where we created a better world, and where some of our leaders, inspiring leaders, stood up and made a difference, including the great Larry Itliong, which is the subject of the amazing book by Don and Gail that you're here to support and help get off to an amazing launch. And I know it'll be phenomenal, the entire book tour. But I want to let you know that this book sits right here in my office. This is where I have it every day. Everyone who comes into my office sees it, knows how important it is to me. And it's very special to me, not just the story that lies in the pages within, but the person who wrote it. Don and Gail put this together, and we all know Dawn is no longer with us. We miss her dearly. She was a mentor to so many of us, a friend, a cherished loved one, someone we looked up to and admired, a sister. And I had the opportunity to work with her for many years, and she taught me so much and inspired me always. We worked on the Manilatown Heritage Foundation board to help create the Manilatown Center and to rebuild the International Hotel, another iconic place for the Filipino American community, a flashpoint in civil rights history for our community, where we took a stand for affordable housing and for our community and for our people. And she continued to advise me and support me and be my friend and colleague as I moved into the California State Legislature, and was there as I introduced in year one of the most important bills to me, AB 123, to make sure that the contributions of Filipino Americans to the California farm labor movement be told in our history books, so that every California child will have an opportunity to be inspired by that movement, and to also remember the great sacrifice and courage of our manongs who stood up and started in that Delano Community Hall, and when they started the Delano Grape Strike in 1965, led by the great Larry Itliong and the Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee, later joined by the National Farm Workers Association, and they merged to become the United Farm Workers of America. So an incredible story that many people don't know, and that they should know, and that this book will make sure that they know. And it's so important that we tell our stories. Don always told me that, to make sure that we uplift our community and tell about the leaders that led and the events that transpired and the beauty and change-making potential and reality of those events. And this story wasn't being told. It was a story that I knew about, because my parents told me it. Because my parents both worked for the United Farm Workers of America. My mom actually knew Philip. My dad worked with Cesar. They both worked with Dolores. And they told me about how amazing and phenomenal, inspirational Larry was. And as I grew up, I never saw that story in history books that I cracked open. Not in elementary school, not in high school, not in college, even as a history major. And I wanted to make sure that that story was told. And as I pushed with AB 123, I always heard the voice of Don in the background telling me, make sure we have our stories told, and that we tell about the great leadership that we've had in this state, and in this country, and in this world. Later, we followed that up with AB 7, Larry Itliong Day, in October on Larry Itliong's birthday. So, just really proud to be part of a beautiful, empowered, strong, fierce Filipino-American community that's telling our stories, that's fighting for justice, that's making a difference in the lives of our community and others. I'm sad that I can't be there with you, but I know that it's going to be a tremendous book launch and book tour. I'm with you in spirit, and most importantly, this is a tremendous legacy whereby we can remember the great leader and friend and sister that Don Mabalan was and continues to be to us. Salamat po. Have a great book launch and tour.